Hey, hi Kritin. Finally, we get to see each other and talk. I think I've been hearing about you for quite some time, so really, really awesome. I hope your voice is there properly. Can you just speak?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Absolutely, absolutely. Warm
Yes.
welcome. Really.
Thank you so much, sir. I've been waiting for this. Like, I remember there was a time after my first attempt, I was sleeping on my bed list listening to one of these webinar, and there were two other people talking, and I was like, one day I want to be there. Talk to Sandeep sir once. It is a privilege for me to be right now with you. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for this, session and opportunity for me also to talk to you. So, Pratim, just take us through. I'm sure you haven't had too much work ex, otherwise, while would not have happened. तो
Yeah.
थोड़ा जर्नी के बारे में बताओ और finally how you were able to jump your score from a miserable 400s to a very respectable 685. थोड़ा बताइए. Hello, Kritin, your video I think is
Yeah.
jammed. Yeah, yeah. Hello. Your video seems to be jammed, Kritin. Please, so just have, I think. Let's see.
I'll just change my network.
Yeah, yeah, sure. If you could, please.
Hello.
Yeah, Kritin,
Yeah, now
perfect.
it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
did my
Just,
undergrad,
just
and
take us
during
to your
that time,
journey. हाँ, बताइए, please.
yeah.
Sorry.
So during that time, somewhere I realized that I want to do an MBA for
Hmm.
not so good reasons. Now I can see what would be a good reason. But so समय मैंने CAT दिया था, that was with zero preparation. So I got somewhere 95. So that boosted my ego that okay, without preparation I had 95. And at that time I had submitted a form for ISB also. So मेरे
Hmm.
को GMAT देना था. I gave the GMAT exam, went with the same confidence. I just took the lectures from top 1 percentile. And I remember that I was bad in verbal. So I did everything which was there in RC, as in the lectures and all, did marathon lectures and did not practice a lot. Gave the exam and that was a miserable attempt for me. I could not understand the exam. It was like the exam was controlling me altogether. The questions were just being thrown up at me. And there was at one point I was like, कि बस खत्म करो इसे. I want to get out. Whatever it is, I want to get out. So this is what was happening. I came back. I felt very bad because I did not
Okay,
expect
one
this of
thing,
me.
एक तो 95 percentile CAT में आने के बाद you feel probably not even what it would be what 30-40 percentile. I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
something like that. Yeah.
That's really,
And I was
really.
not able to understand the exam. I had no idea how the questions would be thrown up. I had no idea of how to attempt the exam basically. Not
Right.
the questions were not difficult because when you reach a 30-40 percentile, questions are extremely easy. It's just that I was not in the mindset to give the exam because of no mocks, no preparation, not reading about the exam, nothing like that. I did not even open the after class action PDF which was sent to us before that. So
तो ये
uh,
ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस से हुआ या कि सोचा कि अब तो ठीक है मतलब आई हैव अंडरस्टूड माय वीकनेस वर्बल था प्रॉब्लम वर्बल सीख लिया बाकी मैथ डीआई तो आता ही है कैट से तो ये था रीजन या क्या था?
I think एक level of overconfidence भी था because I saw my friends and all who prepared a lot and they were not able to score even 93, 94. I went with zero preparation, so I was like, "कि, okay, quant and DI is very strong for me."
हम्म.
And I had also this assumption that GMAT is comparatively easier than CAT,
ओके.
but those are two different exams, two different
या
patterns.
इट्स
This
नॉट
I did
इजियर
not
और
know.
टफर एग्जाम्स अलग अलग है
It's
पूरी.
apples and oranges. You cannot
या.
compare them. So वो था and then I gave the exam and it went very bad. So I came back and I realized कि यार ऐसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा and this is not a score which I'm submitting
हम्म.
because वो realize हो जाता है कि questions are extremely easy. It's
हम्म.
not the questions which are difficult because 30-40% any class 10 guy can solve it. So this is what was happening with me. And right after that, my job was also starting. So
हम्म.
I got admitted in KPMG during that time. It was a big four. The work hours were a bit longer, and I had to restart my preparation journey right from scratch because अभी तक कुछ
हम्म.
नहीं हुआ था. I started it. My work hours were almost like 8 to 10 hours. I used to be in office. Along with that, my client was 2 hours away from my home. So I used to travel 4 hours daily. And उसके
Oh.
अलावा I had to prepare for GMAT. So my schedule used to be that I used to wake up at around 5 o'clock, give 2 hours for GMAT, 7 o'clock it used to be. I used to go back to my work, come back around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock or something, and then sleep whenever I used to come back. And
हम्म.
this is the preparation journey which I had for 2 months, giving 2 hours daily. Now coming to what changed like in the next 2 months.
या.
One thing which I did was that first thing which I did was completed your essays and all which was given to us. Know
हम्म.
the world lecture, I completed it as like yeah, I have no clue what to do next. I'll first complete it. And I had the clarity right after that. The clarity which I had ki this is what I want to do is unbeatable. And thank you so much, sir. Like the best part if I can take. Even today when at ISB we are having a discussion with professors or I'm hosting something or like yesterday we had a session with Sarthak Ahuja sir. So there
Oh,
also I bring out these things and they are also impressed ki wow, this is extremely good. So I
know
think the
the
best
world is
learning
what
was
he's
that.
talking about. You're talking about know the world here, right?
Know the world lectures, yeah, all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the best thing which I had. Right after that, I was like, now let's start the preparation journey, how to do it.
Hmm,
So in quants, I was strong. I was pretty confident about that. When
hmm,
it came to quants, what I did was I completed all the questions of 700 and 800 level.
hmm,
Along with that, I did a lot of questions from GMAT club also. And that
hmm.
was an advice which was given from top 1 percentile
Yeah,
only.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go and do from 700 plus and 805 plus. So
Hmm.
this is what I did. But the important part was not doing the questions. I followed everything point by point which was there in after class action PDF. And if someone does it and stops using his or her brain, 735 is a very easy score. I think 685 is still bad. 735 is a very easy score if you follow every single
Please
thing which is
listen,
written in the
everyone, what he's saying, because sometimes we don't believe in it and we keep on asking a new plan. Give me a plan, give me a plan. प्लान जो दिया है आपको वो बहुत सॉलिड है, हमने 10 साल लगाए हैं उस प्लान को बनाने में, एंड व्हाट ही इज सेइंग इज वैलिडेटिंग इट. सो या गो अहेड कृतिन प्लीज.
Yeah. So every single thing which was there, I followed it. I was like, even if I get 2 hours, I'll do exactly what Sandeep is saying. And I stopped using my brain. I stopped reading in Google, YouTube, Instagram, how to prepare, how to get 735. I did not do any of these things. I'll just follow this as a Bible. So quants was that I followed these two questions. The important thing was that for every single preparation, there's one important thing which was written was that once you sit, at least sit for 3 hours in one sitting and do these many questions. I don't remember the number of questions.
या
Now that is something which was helpful that you need to sit at once and complete it like you are doing an exam, and everything needs to be in a timed manner. When I started following it, quant score started going extremely good for me. In the exam, I made a few errors in the first few questions. That's why my score became a bit less. But my quant score in my mocks and all was always 100 percentile. And that
राइट.
was because of this journey. Secondly, if I talk about reading comprehension, I have not been an avid reader. Like, I have been a guy who used to go to YouTube for normal school lectures also because I avoided reading. What Octave did for me was that it broke it down like maths. It was like logic. It's like how you would be reading. Like this is how I put it, ki how you would be reading that passage. Octave is teaching me how to do it. Once I started following it, started doing it with the on the live lectures with you, recorded lectures with you, and then doing it myself, my brain started breaking down every single comprehension passage in that particular manner. And that started happening automatically after 300, 400 passages that I started reading in a particular manner. Now,
राइट.
what helped me was not in the exam, but along with that, right after when I was done with the preparation, from a guy who used to just look for videos and avoid reading whenever possible, I became a guy who used to ask people that don't give me a video, give me a like something which is written and I'll read it faster. So that was something which was very helpful, and that is beyond the exams, and that is true for GMAT. Now, this is
राइट.
something which is helping me at ISB also. I can read faster than other people because I know how to read. And I
या.
can read anything, whether I know that or not. So Octave, sir, it's like magic. I don't know how you made that, but it's actually like magic for someone like me. So,
राइट.
and I started enjoying the process. This is what started happening with these two steps. I started enjoying it because somewhere I realized it's not about the exam. It's something more than the exam. I started feeling now when I come to CR, this will become more clear. For critical thinking, again, what helped me the most was the long sitting, which we have on the portals for 3 hours or something. We need to attempt 100 questions. Now, when you attempt 100 questions and that too you do on a daily basis, there are three, four attempts which you can give. Once you start doing that, what happens is that automatically like something like magic happens, and then your brain stops like making you think that okay, this is a weakening question, this is a procedure which I need to follow. That started happening automatically. I was not thinking how to do it, but it was just happening in the correct procedure. Now
राइट.
what happened because of that was that whenever I used to go for a debate competition or for some argument or some negotiation in my job, I was able to break down the arguments faster and better. If my director is saying something and I know that this is wrong, I could convince him better. Normally, I was not able to, but I was able to convince him, okay, so this is a wrong premise. And this is the first thing which you learn at ISB also when you come. The first thing which teach you and the dean teaches you this is how to break down the arguments better, how to
Absolutely.
understand premise. That is a life skill which happened with me. So I did all the long sittings, and again I was focusing only on the difficult questions because the easier one was done. My major problem was that after class action PDF was left, because of which my scores were not coming. I was not able to understand the exam. Then coming to IRDS, IR, what helped me was that I completed all the mocks and in one sitting and no cheating in that. Like today also, like I have a lot of friends and all who are planning to come to ISB or some other STEAM college and they ask me how to prepare. The mistake which they make is that they don't give the mocks like it's an actual exam. They'll
हाँ,
give the
एग्जाम
mock.
को पॉज कर देते हैं बीच में या ब्रेक ले
Exactly.
लेते हैं, क्योंकि जीमैट प्रेप में भी ये प्रॉब्लम है. दे अलाउ यू टू पॉज. So this is
Ah,
really,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, I
So the
guess.
moment they pause, it's of no use. You have wasted that mock. Basically, it's like that. So
Yeah,
either they pause, or sometimes they'll use the calculator, and that to the hand calculator, not the one on the screen calculator, or they'll do something else. I have seen people pausing and then thinking how to solve it.
yeah,
So I did not do any of these things. I gave all the mocks and I gave it like it's an actual exam. I used to sit and complete it right from scratch. And that helped me again. Again, when you do 20, 30 mocks, like you used to say in your webinars and all also, once you start doing 20, 30 mocks, you don't need to think after that. You are done
mhm,
with 30 mocks, 30 I had done, and now it will happen automatically. And once that starts happening, you know that you are on a good pace and you will do good. And you'll start enjoying it also. So for IR, I did that. DS was again one of my favorite topics because my problem in studies have always been that I used to think a lot when it comes to a question. So think, okay, this can be done this way also, that way also. Now DS was something which was asking you to do that. It was asking you to understand in how many different ways this particular problem can be
right,
solved.
right,
Again, that muscle helps you in real life. Once you start having it's not about maths or stats or something like that. It's just that once your brain starts analyzing a problem in a manner that, okay, there can be four different approaches of doing it. You start doing that in everything, every aspect of life. You're preparing for a case com, and your brain will tell you, okay, this can be done in four different ways. And that is something which will be respected. That is how you get a different point of view. So for
right,
DS, I did the same thing. I followed everything. There was DS 426 questions which were there. I completed it one sitting, like two or three sittings I did, and all in a time manner. Once that was done, I started with the mocks. First, I completed a sectional mocks. Again, the mocks were done like it's an actual exam. No breaks, no shortcuts, nothing. I'll give one sectional mock of quants, then one of verbal, then one of IRDS. And I would analyze it. Like if I was giving 1 hour to give a mock, I was giving 2, 3 hours to analyze it. And that time started reducing after a point of time of analyzing because I started realizing, okay, this is where I'm going wrong. If
right,
I realize, okay, in this particular section I'm going wrong in quants, I'll go back, I'll see the lectures if required. Normally it was not required, or I'll go and practice the questions again where I'm going wrong. There would be some marked questions which I have that used to reduce a lot of time, because for me, time was a very massive constraint. I just had 2 hours every day. I could not break out of that. And Sundays I had to take a rest sometimes, or sometimes I used to work for 6, 7 hours. So this is what was happening. I used to go back, I used to read every question, understand where am I going wrong, and then come back again. If I find that, okay, this section is still weak for me, I'll go to GMAT club and practice that particular question 700, 805 level.
right.
So, and then I did the final mocks. I was scoring very well in the final mocks. In the exam, I did not score as much as I was expecting, but still it was good enough because the profile
What
and
was
all
the
that.
highest mock score, by the way? So just let.
I used to get 735.
Oh, that's fantastic. So now the exam experience I want to hear, because then that's what. Also, I want to know after this question, if somebody has only 40 to 50 to 60 days max, what can they do right now? They are not starting GMAT. They are already in the prep and they're just looking for the final battle to be won. So two questions. How was your mock overall experience? And the second thing, as I just said, that if you have very limited time, 30 to 60 days ka window mein, what they should do one by one, please start. So,
Okay, so if I talk about mocks, like top 1 percentile ke mocks were actually one level difficult actually a lot difficult in the actual exam. So
uh,
what happened to me was that when I went to the actual exam, I don't know, it was for me or someone else, it could be different, but for me it was that when I went for the actual exam, it was like, okay, this is very easy. So I was scared ki I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something wrong. This is what was happening with me.
psychological thing, yeah.
Yeah, so that should not be happening. That's a very bad thing to happen. But for me, it was happening because I gave all the exams of top
आप
mocks
अपना
of top
सेक्शन
one.
ऑर्डर बताइए एग्जाम में क्या था और उसके
Okay,
बाद.
so I used to start with quants because
हम्म,
I was very confident and I did not want to do bad in that.
हम्म,
And secondly, I used to go for RC, VRC. The
हम्म,
reason for that was that once I gave a quant attempt and all, I am pretty sure that it would go good. That was my
हम्म,
assumption that it will go good. And once it goes good, I am in a good confidence space and my brain has also started working. I'm now familiarized with the place where
हम्म,
I'm giving the exam. So I'll give verbal because verbal had to go very good. This is what happened with me that when verbal used to go good, my overall score used to go very good. This
definitely.
was in MBA.com mocks also. So I did that. Then I used to take a 10 minutes break, just relax because now I have a basic, like my brain has started working on quants and verbal. Now IRDS is basically it's a combination of both these subjects. So now
Right.
when I used to give IRDS, it used to go very easily. So this was the order which I used to follow.
तो एग्जाम में क्या हुआ, एक दो आपने बोला कि शुरू में कुछ क्वांट के क्वेश्चंस में गलती कर दी, उसके अलावा डिड यू फाइंड एनीथिंग जेन्युइनली अनफेमिलियर कि यार ये तो मैंने
Nothing.
देखा ही नहीं, कुछ कुछ
Nothing.
अलग ही आ गया.
No, sir, nothing. Honestly, nothing. In fact, like specifically for RC, I'll still say I don't know what the passage was about. I had three passages. Two, I had no clue what it is about because I had no idea. It was something related to some philosophical concept. but I was
Hmm.
able to score well just
Hmm.
because I knew how to do it. In terms of critical thinking, again, there was nothing new. All the techniques were taught. I had to just follow it point by point. And by this time, I did not even think about it. I knew, okay, this needs to be done this particular manner. Maybe
क्वांट
there were
में
one
कुछ
or
अनफेमिलियर या कुछ
Quant
क्वांट?
में तो there was nothing. Quant में there was nothing. Quant में it was almost like कि I am telling you, I was scared कि I am doing bad. Something wrong
इतना
happening.
इजी कैसे हो सकता है वो वाला बैड?
Exactly. Because Quant K, when I used to give top 1K mocks and all, there used to be at least one question or two question where I'm confused. Or after the exam also, I used to think, कि, okay, where did I go wrong or how could it be done better? But इसमें there was nothing like that. In fact, मेरे quants में I completed that paper 15 minutes early. So
ओ.
I had time for verbal where I had like 15 minutes where I was just resting and like keeping my brain calm for the next paper. It was that easy. Also because I made a few questions
ओके,
of
लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल आर वेरी स्केर्ड ऑफ डीआई सेक्शन जनरली, डेटा इनसाइट्स में जो डीएस आया है, इसमें एक्चुअल एग्जाम में क्या सच में टफ होता है इतना जितना डरते हैं हम लोग? या आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था? बिकॉज आई वांट, एवरीबody thinks that no, this section is just a nightmare for them for some reason, so just want to know that from you, like.
Okay, so IR, if I talk about IR, then it's not. It's genuinely not. It's very easy. In fact, once you, again, the same thing, once you practice 30 mocks, you are done with IR. There's nothing because now it's very easy. There's no concept involved in that. It's just that how fast you can see the data and how fast you can analyze it. If I compare it with CAT or something, there's still like there are the questions which you have in the data insight section, it's still comparatively very tough. But
Yeah,
here it's
very
not tough. There's nothing to be done. There's no aptitude which is required. You just need to understand where to look at the data. And that will only happen when you do the mock. You watch as many lectures as you want to, or have
हाँ.
someone else solve it for you. I don't think that's going to help you. The only thing which will help you is that when you're doing it yourself. And you need to do it again and again, again and again,
Mhm.
till the moment it starts happening automatically. When it comes to data sufficiency, maybe in the initial few questions of your preparation, it might be difficult because it's a new concept. You have not solved a question like this. Like I did not solve a question which was requiring a concept like this. But once you start understanding that, okay, this is how it needs to be done, and that will happen in the first 50 to 100 questions. Once you are done with that and then you practice another 300, 350 questions, it's a piece of cake. There's nothing to be done. In fact, the reason I used to
एग्जाम
have
में कुछ
IR
अनयूजुअल नहीं था डीआई सेक्शन में कुछ?
Nothing, sir. Nothing. IR में तो कुछ भी था. DS में भी there was nothing. Like I'm telling you, once you are done with all the mocks and all the questions, it's not. I don't think it's possible you'll get a question which is different or definitely not a question which is more difficult than it. There might be थोड़ा बहुत number ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है. Words can be different, or they might confuse how the question is being asked. But the concept which is being tested is going to be like is you must have covered it. And I'm 100% sure. That's why I'm saying this. What you need to do is that once you complete the lecture, you just need to follow every single thing which is there in the after class action PDF. I used to take a printout of it, paste it on my study table, and then cross out every single thing. Okay, I'll complete it all.
This is crazy. This is great. And just tell one last thing here, and then I'll talk about life as ISB right now, that as well. But
Yeah.
tell me, if you have 30 to 60 days and you are at some stage of prep, you're not starting from zero. This is what the group is right now that we are addressing. What can they do best? Like how to optimize this?
I think one would be again like follow whatever sir has said, but if I need to add anything above that, the one of the most important thing would be that when you're giving a mock, when you're practicing any question, it needs to be on a time manner. You might solve 100 questions without time, and it's of no use. It's like just wasting those questions, nothing else. Secondly, try to do for long sitting. This is what I've realized when the exam when you sit for 1 or 2 hours directly and then you have not practiced it earlier, your brain doesn't work because the pressure is also insane when you're entering the exam.
Hmm.
So do that. Thirdly, practice the difficult questions. If you're aiming for a 700, 735 plus, you need to be at a stage. There'll be a stage like if you guys have practice, then you would be at a stage where you know how to solve a massive amount of questions. But what is required is that every single day you're challenging your brain to think on something which has not been done. And that is something which you'll only get if you practice the difficult questions. And GMAT Club also helps a lot when it comes to 705 plus or 805 plus,
Yeah.
along with the top one mocks. And most importantly, when you're giving the mocks, give it like it's an actual exam. Don't take any shortcuts. Don't give a mock. It's okay if you give just 1 or 2 mocks, but don't take any shortcuts in that. Don't use calculator. Don't pause or don't just like pause and like think about how to solve the question. You're just fooling yourself and it won't help you in the exam. And do it in the order in which you're doing. And as much hours as you give for the mock, do like twice it and then give it for the analysis of the mock because that will tell you where you are going wrong. And another thing, whenever you're studying, like this is something which was told to me by someone, was that you need to enjoy it because it is fun. If you realize it, it is fun and it is preparing you for the life which you'll have at an MBA college also. If you do perform well here, you will perform well in the MBA college also. That is what the exam is testing you. So whenever you're studying something, just have that sense of enjoyment ki whatever the marks, my brain is improving. I'm able to negotiate better. I'm able to think better. I'm able to solve better. And that is what is required. And specifically for someone who comes from a commerce field, we did not give a lot of time when we were in class 11 and 12 for JE prep. That also helps you in a similar manner. It helps you break down problems better. So if you have not done that, then take this as a like stint of 2 months where you're improving your brain function. That's all.
Superb. And how's life at ISB? How was it, like a different world for you? Was it the same extension of your undergrad college? अभी क्या चल रहा है बताओ थोड़ा सा.
So
How intense is
that
it, first of all? Is it pretty intense like that?
we had some intense weeks right before this. We had a placement season going on, club elections going on, lots of case comms going on, and you had to part because as a founding batch, you need to win in the case comms.
Hmm.
So, or else the batch may will go bad. So, lots of case comms going on. We had to make our resume, prepare for interview, and the exams were also going on. And none of this was even close to something which I would have imagined. Like, पढ़ना तो दूर की बात है. I was not even imagining that this is how they could teach me. So
Huh.
I think the best experience for me at ISB was that when we joined, like for the first time, the dean, deputy dean, they were taking lectures for us. Now I'll tell you this actually happened with me. One, I had the feeling that I can do something great in life. If because the way they teach you for the first time you're seeing, you're reading different novels and then coming and discussing, and then every argument is broken down. Whatever you come prepared, it will be broken down. The communication and negotiations which you're having in the class, what you're learning, the new things, it's amazing. So you get the feel that okay, this is a correct place. And secondly, if I work hard, then they are giving me everything which is required to succeed in life and do something great. But given that I work hard and not only for exams, also for the learning mindset. So
Right.
that was something. Secondly, what I realized in this period was that professors are amazing. I don't know, coming from the undergrad college I did, or I don't know why, but out
वहां
here
पे
the
तो क्या
professors
हाल
were.
होता है, कोई हेल्प ही नहीं करने को तैयार होता है, आई थिंक. तो या अंडरग्रेड
And
इज
that's
वेरी
it.
डिफरेंट.
I'll tell you this happened with us because of the placement season. We were not able to give a lot of attention to our professors and the lectures which were going on. And this happened with every single person while we were preparing like one night before the exam. कल एग्जाम में पढ़ना तो होगा. And we all were having like कि shit. We missed this. Like we had to do the pre-read. We had to go back and like we will request the professor for another lecture on this because we
वाह.
want this. This feeling is very insane when you get the feeling that okay, this is applicable. When you're studying operations, when you're studying corporate finance, the professors they teach you in a manner that this is required in life and you'll enjoy it. I've got engineer friends, I've got doctors, lawyers, and they all come to me like, "Ki, this is insane shit what you guys did for the last 5 years." And I'm like, no, this is different, that was different. And this is actually good. Along with that, ISB, like specifically while because it's a 2 year course, it gives you a lot of opportunities which are not there in the PGP also because 2 years is required when you have no work experience or 0 to 2 years of work experience. You need to give little more time. And there are very crazy programs which we have here, like experiential learning program where you work on a live project. You go, the ISB makes a team and makes you work on a live project with some corporate. And then there are pivot programs where you work on a startup. So it's
सुपर.
as real as it can be. And then they make you have your own startup. They'll give you a stipend and all also if you have your own startup and it gets registered in D Labs. Then we are having collabs with there's another course at ISB known as IVI. So that's for startups. So what we do is that we give them as like we work for them. They have the startups and you get the
ओके
founders
ओके,
office
गॉट इट.
experience while being in ISB.
So
And
they're trying
like
to emulate some of the other B schools that have come up recently, probably just to it did not happen probably 3 4, or maybe in while it is happening so much.
no, no, we started this. So this
Oh,
IVI thing was started by us. Like it
okay,
was started by my club, Entrepreneurship Club. We did it. That we'll collab with you. They give us some money also, and we work for them. And we
super.
get an experience of being in a founder's office, doing everything from scratch, making distribution channels, marketing GTM strategies, or maybe product. So we have a good time. And because of 130, the batch is so small and it's so close that you can learn anything from anyone. So another thing which I like because I had lectures on DTSE and all, I had no idea about it. But I've
Mm,
got lots of engineering friend. When it comes to something medical, we have got doctors, lawyers. So it's
right.
insane. Like the experience out here is insane. There's nothing which can be beaten. And if you work hard, again, the same thing. If you work hard, the professors, the day in the institution, they are doing everything which they can so that you become become something out of it.
So amazing to hear all this, Kritin. So amazing. I mean, it's a different world for me also, because that's not the world I go to every time when I go to business schools, but that is like for a day or an hour. But it is like superb to know, superb. Do keep in touch. Genuinely,
100%.
I mean, it'll be so amazing to speak to you again. We have a paucity of time, so we obviously will have to break this right now. Thanks so
Yes,
much for
yes.
your time. It's been amazing to hear all this. And the way you prepared, and that preparation for the GMAT actually helps you in life, in work life, in B school. That is amazing to hear. That it's not a myopic view that you've taken कि हाँ बस एक score आ जाए, then I'll forget the exam. It permanently changes you. Permanently. मतलब वो
100%,
thought
sir.
process ही आपका इतना अलग हो जाता है. Superb to hear, and so amazed to be hearing these stories. Thanks, Kritin, for your time,
Thank you
and
so much,
we'll
sir.
continue this conversation some other time. Bye
100%.
bye for
Thank you
now.
so much.
Bye. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.